Here now. So, this time we have cost of living. I have no idea what the title of this is really supposed to be. This is an interesting episode because of the fact that the majority of it is focused on Lwaxana and Alexander. The regular cast mostly take part in the B plot in this episode. I mean, okay, several of them get involved in the A plot, but most of them don't. Anyway, so what happens is Lwaxana has decided to take a parental guidance interest in Alexander. And in her weird betazoid way has decided to try to get him to be a happier, more productive child and less, mopey and depressed or something. Part of this is by introducing him to the Parallax Colony holodeck program, which is a bunch of bizarre characters who exist to do certain things, and while I guess the best way to put this is that because they're fictional characters, they don't follow real-world logic. Like these two, their entire thing is to take opposing sides in an argument and then debate the merits of those sides because they have nothing better to do. They don't really have a good reason for it. They're just doing it for the fun of it. To be honest, this is actually one of those things where it's like the various ideas. This is actually the sort of thing that you would expect someone to have for a holodeck program, because the fact that it's campy, goofy, weird nonsense that is entertaining. Whether it has any real world logic to it is kind of the point, is that having solidly thought out real world logic is not necessarily what you want in entertainment. And this is a sort of goofy nonsense that, well, hey, like I said, it's entertaining. And also it takes place in the kind of environment that, while you can build a practical set for it, the set looks like something out of a cartoon. Like, why would you build it this shape? No idea. What are these colored things for? I don't know. Anyway, though. But good for a largely entertainment-oriented holodeck program. So, what else we got? Again, that's part of the A plot. Yeah, this one kind of has like three different through lines, because like the A plot has two different parts. The Lwaxana and Alexander story, and a story where Lwaxana is supposedly getting married to some guy named Campio, who ends up backing out of it at the last minute because he doesn't want to do a Betazoid wedding ceremony where he'd have to be naked to marry her. Yeah. Most of this is handled through an intermediary. We don't actually see Campio say a whole lot of stuff about it. It's primarily handled by Urko, his protocol master. And Urko doesn't exactly have glowing praise for Lwaxana's eccentricities. Anyways, though, the B plot, however, is a thing called a Nitrium Parasite. This is one of those seemingly inorganic life forms, much like a Horta, that is also a cosmozoan. This thing doesn't live on planets. The Enterprise encountered this thing in the opening scene. See, because the opening scene of this one is them destroying an asteroid using their navigational deflector to prevent it from colliding with the planet Tessin 3. See, Tessin 3 is a Federation member world. Who lives there? I have no idea. That's actually not important enough for them to bother talking about it. It's a Federation member world. The Enterprise is here because, it's a Federation member world that needs Federation assistance with a asteroid that's going to impact their planet. So the Enterprise prevents the asteroid from impacting the planet and then leaves. Mission complete. Woohoo! Yeah, whatever. Apparently, the asteroid contained the Nitrium Parasite. Now, whether the Nitrium Parasite was somehow responsible for the asteroid being on a collision course with Tessin yeah, they don't bother with that one. But the Nitrium Parasite then starts chewing at the systems of the Enterprise because of the fact that the Federation uses nitrium as part of starships. Not the hull, mind you, the internal components, the, important things. Like the mechanisms for the dilithium chamber. Yeah, if that has a structural failure, the ship might explode or something, maybe. And that creates a rather interesting dilemma for the crew. Because both parts of the A plot are just personal drama. Like two very different kinds of personal drama. And the kind of personal drama that I wouldn't really consider to be a good choice for the main focus of a TTRPG session. Because of the fact that this personal drama is what would be NPCs interacting with each other. Not even like the crew trying to help the NPCs with a problem. It's just the NPCs acting out their own problems in the background with no real... Okay, there is some level of interaction with the crew, but the bulk of the story just kind of like plays out with the crew mostly just watching, which is where the B plot comes in, is because the members of the crew who have nothing better to do end up dealing with the Nitrium Parasite. Now, the Nitrium Parasite, I do think, is a pretty cool idea. Why they didn't just kill the thing, I have no idea, but they decide to do the equivalent of chasing it off the starship. Yeah, they moved to an asteroid belt that had enough nitrium in it that the Nitrium Parasite would be able to find food in the asteroid belt, and then used a carefully modulated energy beam to convince the Nitrium Parasite to leave the ship and jump into the asteroid belt. Yeah. Like I said, I don't get why they didn't just kill the thing. Why is that not an option? See, this is one of those sci-fi monsters where the nature of what it does is very doesn't fit real world laws of physics. That's the simplest way to put it. It breaks things that are, in theory, something that you would die doing in real life. So presumably this means that it has some level of superhuman durability, and thus, I mean, because it's made out of nitrium, and nitrium is a mineral that the Enterprise D failed to blow up a chunk of a mix of nitrium and crondite uh, that formed the core of the asteroids. Like they blew up most of the asteroid with photon torpedoes, but decided that creating a particle beam with the this deflector dish was a better way to get rid of the nitrium and crondite core, which does suggest that exploding things that are made out of nitrium is in fact difficult and not something that you can simply shoot it with a phaser. Yeah, that's really all we know about it though, so hey. It is something that you could have fun with in a TTRPG. I mean, because like nitrium as a like, you know, this door is made out of nitrium. Oh, you can't use the phaser on a cutting beam. If you do use a phaser on a cutting beam, you'll probably be here for like an hour trying to cut a hole through it. You know, that's the sort of logic you could do with nitrium, maybe. There's a variety of things that you can do with weird minerals, because there's so many different weird minerals. Actually, a lot of these are real minerals. That is actually something to keep in mind with uh, uh, Star Trek minerals, is that they did actually use real minerals some of the time. Gourmaline is a real thing. Olivine. Note how it has an actual chemical formula for olivine. Yeah, there's a reason for that. You can look it up in the dictionary. Anyway, so yeah. That is actually something that's kind of fun though, because of the fact that using real things that have real world logic. If the real world logic fits what you want to do in the story, have fun with it. And that's about it for this episode. The whole thing with the Parallax Colony and the dancers, it's a fun holodeck story. It really is. Is it the sort of holodeck story that I think would be good fit for players in a TTRPG? Not really. But, you know, it's something you could throw in as a thing to keep things from getting stale and boring, I suppose. Which was the entire point of it in the episode. So, hey, that fits at least. And that's about all for this one. See you guys next time.